thing I love about Leica users. Leica users, interestingly enough, don't suffer some of the epic stupid that normal photographers say. Well, I should be saying gear sniffers, actually. Gear sniffers, measure baiters, it's all kind of reference to the same thing. There's a couple things that should die as far as belief systems. They're kind of like urban legends like leprechauns and witches. Okay? We now got a new one. It's called zombies. See, actually, because there's so many zombie movies, TV shows out there, there are a lot of people. It's like, well, okay, I get you're into this. I was like, no, I actually believe zombies exist. Like, oh God, you're crazy, right? Terms that have to die, or belief systems that have to die in photography. You've heard this before. No, the words out-resolve. It's like, yeah. My lenses, yeah, my new camera is going to out-resolve my old lenses. I need to. And this is, by the way, really good news for people like Nikon and Canon and Sony that want you to buy the latest and greatest new. And they even say this, you know, to hell with you, Nikon. They say this crap in their propaganda. They do. All these companies say that garbage in their propaganda. New lens will help resolve our new zillion megapixel, blah, 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 blah. It's such BS. Leica people don't suffer this trash. I'll tell you why very shortly. The notion that your older lens, like maybe a 15-year-old lens, for example, when it was designed, it's going to out-resolve my sensor. It's such BS. You see this? You see this lens? This lens is older than my grandfather. I got three of them. This is the old Carl Zeiss. This is the Triotar. This is a 3-element lens, by the way. It's I don't have any camera that, you know, no. No, Leica people don't suffer this because Leica people are using some, you know, $10,000 old adapted contact lenses, old Leica lenses. I mean, some really expensive stuff that are old or older than your daddy. It's like if you're 40 years old, it's like the lenses they're using on their modern Leica cameras are older than your daddy. It's like when your daddy was born, that lens had cobwebs on it. And they're using those lenses on their modern Leica camera. Modern Leica people don't spit this crap out. They don't. That's, even though I don't like Leica and they're heinously overpriced, I own a Leica. It's like, that's good, you own an overpriced. Leica film cameras are excellent. I own a couple of Leica digital cameras. Yeah, I know some of the German electronics. There are some German electronics. There still is Japanese, Chinese component electronics in there. You know, you're just buying a fancy box that says Leica on the front of it. Leica's for sale, by the way. Hasselblad wants to buy Leica. Of course, Hasselblad is owned by the Chinese now. Hasselblad doesn't even exist anymore except in name only. But anyway, the belief of out-resolving your new sensor, it's just epic BS. I got over 500 lenses. And the best current modern sensors, and the notion these lenses out-resolve, no. The sensors out-resolve, no. 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 The notion that bigger sensors gather more light. Please God, I know the people that keep espousing this crap. If you can go to Cambridge in Color's website, which is like the definitive true, okay, true science website for like the nature of digital photography. What is exposure? About sensors. They will even tell you on their damn website. Just type it in. Cambridge in Color. There's all these instructional pages. They'll even tell you there. I mean, that's ridiculous. Exposure is per unit area. The only reason people stupidly, there's a few reasons actually, people stupidly think that bigger sensors perform better, and they do have to be enlarged less, the image does, is because bigger, up until just the past couple of years, bigger sensors had larger eyeballs on them, larger photo sites. This had everything to do with the photo sites, not the sensor size. There are, and I've got it listed here somewhere, some industrial sensors that are 2 and 4 megapixels. Here we go. The Sony Pregis IMX174 and the Starvis IMX290. Now these are industrial sensors. They're 2 megapixels, one's nearly 4 megapixel. Okay? Those sensors are smaller than Micro Four Thirds. It's a hair smaller, I believe. But they will outperform any modern camera. Those sensors are really tiny, but their performance is better than medium format. I have medium format. But they're industrial sensors. They're really low megapixel count. But we're talking about dynamic range and low light capability here, right? That has to do with noise. These sensors will shoot or collect images in what we stupid humans would normally consider total darkness, because the sensors have huge eyeballs on them. Just absolutely huge. Larger sensors have to be enlarged less, but this notion of better image quality, please God, would people stop just saying image quality, image quality, image quality, image? I need a parrot that does image quality. It just says image quality, image quality, image quality. I need a parrot that does that. I do. It has to have gray hair on top of it. That's an inside joke. Image quality. Image quality. There are 30 different, more than 30 different attributes of image quality. Lens, aperture, film compression, RAW versus JPEG, image processing, SNR, pixel pitch, pixel efficiency, normal sensor versus backside illuminated sensor, megapixel saturation, ETTR width, SNR, analog digital converters, on and on and on and on. Lens design, output of lens. All of that was within the bubble we call image quality. Please just stop saying, to buy a larger sensor, you got better image quality. Here's a damn fact. I know you can point to some examples here. Some of my favorite images ever made, I could just like sit there and stare at them forever, are some old film images that were taken with high speed, meaning really grainy film, and low light, and by image quality, like if a robot were to look at it and analyze it, because robots don't know crap about composition or, feeling anything, like that image moves me. The robot would go, inferior image. These are some of the most iconic images in the world. So please stop it with the image quality crap. Image quality? Image quality? Bigger sensors don't gather more light either. If that were true, the best light meter on Earth would have a setting or entry. I've got like 9 light meters, which is ridiculous. I've got some older ones I collect. I find them really, really cheap, and I'll buy them like, oh my god, that's awesome. It's just made like a Rolex. There's no sensor ever that has an input for sensor size. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Nikon D3, Nikon D4. Let's talk about image quality, okay? I hate the new Nikon D5. It's a 20 megapixel sensor. Really, really, really expensive. It's not a backside illuminated sensor, but it's got huge ass eyeballs on it. Its performance in low light is undeniable. It's not because it's a larger sensor, but because it has huge eyeballs on it. But that camera for like bird photography sucks compared to like Nikon D850, or even, now I know this doesn't have the lenses that Nikon does, even the new XH1 or the XT2 or X Pro 2, because there's more translational information per square millimeter of sensor on these Fujifilm camera, even like a Sony a6300. Crop sensor at 24 megapixel. Far superior to, because the Nikon D5 is 20 megapixels spread all the hell over a full frame sensor. Yeah, wonderful. That means there's not much translational information there to crop down to. If you take a shot of a little bird far away and you want to crop the hell out of the shot, ooh, it don't look so good. That $6,500 camera is not anybody who has a brain and knows how digital cameras work. It's like, I'm going to pick a Nikon D5 and the 600mm f4, really expensive lens, for bird photography. Like, no. National Geographic photographers, up until recently, were shooting Nikon D7100s with their 600mm f4. It's like, why the hell was someone using a lens as expensive as a new Mercedes with a camera that costs less than a frickin' cheap computer? I mean, like really cheap. I mean, like $500 camera. So yeah, okay, you got a $13,000 lens on a $500 camera, because D7100, well, D7200 is better now, but same sensor, by the way. The pixel pitch, the croppability, because most wildlife photographers crop the piss out of their shots. That had to do with pixel density. Saturation per unit at a time type pixel density is great. If you're doing flash photography, strobe work, or you're shooting outside and you can, expose to the right, which is why ETTR is so important. Yeah, the far, far cheaper camera, the $500 camera versus the $6,500 camera, what a disparity, will outperform the Nikon D5 all day long. What are you going to use it for? So these are the things that have to die. Out-resolve. It's just nonsense. My new camera is going to out-resolve my favorite old lenses. And Leica shooters don't suffer this nonsense. Bigger sensor is better, gathers more light. No. That's a generalization based upon huge eyeballs on the sensor. It has nothing to do with the actual sensor size. Exposure is per unit area, which is why no damn light meter on Earth has an entry for sensor size. But there are people on the internet, and specifically YouTube, that keep repeating that nonsense. Bigger sensors make cleaner images. Yeah, bigger sensor, bigger sensor. I need a parrot that says bigger sensor. That's what I need. I need a parrot that says bigger sensor. What's the answer? I want the bigger sensor. It's like, dear Mr. Bird, I got a so-and-so. No, you need a bigger sensor. That's what I need. I need a parrot. A bigger sensor. I used to have a sulfur-crested cockatoo. I wished I still had him. His name was Trixie. I wish it was a female bird. I wished I still had that bird. I could teach it how to say, bigger sensor, bigger sensor, bigger sensor. You want to talk about bigger sensor? I got a medium format camera. You don't see me. I got more DX crop sensors than anything. I love using them. It's like, well, I know. If I believe that, then I just say, oh, all this inferior full-frame stuff and crop sensor. That's just not true. You know, it's just not true. Nope, indeedy, it's not true. Bigger sensor? I do need that. I need a parrot that goes, bigger sensor, bigger sensor. Polly wants a bigger sensor. Stop the stupidity. Done. Bye.